So this is a small montage of Bradley Carpenter's bodysuit in progress. Brad is not written as a human being. He's not someone that you can just capture in a few phrases, and his tattoo is definitely not something that we can boil down to a quick little short and sweet thing. It's such an extensive piece of work that started completely at random. Basically thanks to my old mate Kevin, who was the manager of Sacred Tattoo in New York. He introduced me to Brad, or rather got Brad on board with the idea of getting tattooed by me. Brad had already been tattooed by another artist there named Gunny, who'd done a really good work of some, in my own personal opinion, really cool neo-tribal work on him. It should be mentioned that those tattoos has sort of set the theme for what has happened with Brad's tattoos since then, which both Brad and I think is a really cool aspect of it. But it started with me just having to do one tattoo on Brad, and that's grown quite a bit. So now we're getting close to what would be defined as halfway on his bodysuit. So let's have a look at that. So I started on Brad by doing this piece on his upper back, which is something that now needs a little bit of a touch up because it's a bit lighter than the rest of his bodysuit in progress. I basically did it before I was completely comfortable with powerful and bold. But by the time we did the chest on him, which I believe I did with my former colleague Uffe, bold and powerful had become a much more important thing to me. After this, we started working on arms, hands happened. I started connecting the sleeves to the rest of the pieces and did the back of the neck. Been doing more work on the whole back piece and done these big curves on the hips that are leading down to the legs. The legs is very much the next chapter. Brad was supposed to come over during what is now the chaos of 2020. We had 2 weeks planned out of just hanging out and working a lot, which never happened. Pretty unfortunate turn of events. He's one of many clients that has had to have his sessions pushed, but specifically with Brad, it's become a bit of a nuisance to have to rebook him and change things around, because Brad has gone from being Bradley Carpenter, TV show producer and client, to be a friend of the family who plays with my kid and hangs out and cooks with me, and we have really good times together. So this whole virus has been like a postponing of seeing my friend, which, I don't know, natural process, but bloody annoying. So for the legs, my intention is to continue this form that I built on the hips and run it straight downwards, and then basically use the dynamic movements of the thighs and buttocks and all these things, tie it all together so that you have these consistent spirals throughout the pieces that'll all tie in, almost like cogwheels. It'll all fit together and basically make it look like Brad is wearing one hell of an epic armor. His tattoo is one of my favorite pieces, even though it's kind of strange to have created something this massive where I've not been in charge of all of the forms because of the old tattoos that were already there. The tree of life on one arm with Hebrew lettering, and the neo-tribal that was on the other arm dictated what directions I had to take, but those dictations definitely sent me into some waters that I was not completely familiar with or completely comfortable with, and I had to learn a lot in this process, which in turn has just made me better at what I do. So thank you Gunny, and thank you Brad for throwing those curveballs at me. It's very cool. I don't know where this tattoo is going to stop. We have been working white details on top of the old black on the blacked out shoulder. By the way, we should remember to thank Paketh, who did the solid black for me when I did not have time. It is highly appreciated. And well, where are we? Next sessions, legs, and some work on the back, and maybe tying the hips onto the chest piece itself, and then we'll see where we end up. There's also some fingers that needs doing and all these things. So more adventures to come on this piece for sure.